Patrick Klepek, hello.
The fighting game experts
That's
unite
right.
again.
That's right.
For this
Patrick
quick
Klepek,
look.
expert of Marvel Comics and fighting games.
If just as Brad is an expert of anime,
Yeah.
I am an expert of fighting
You are
games.
taking time off from your busy training regimen, getting ready for, well, next year's EVO, to join me here to talk about Marvel superheroes and Marvel vs. Capcom, which have combined to form Marvel vs. Capcom Origins.
At least they're 2 games in one package.
Yeah.
Considering the last time we sat down and looked at one of these, kind of seemed like they were.
Yeah, that was the
Overselling.
JoJo's package was too much money and a little crazy. This is more reasonably priced, and you kind of get more out of it. You might make the argument that these are older fighting games that have been replaced, and there aren't a lot of people interested in playing them anymore.
It's more of a historical value.
Yeah, but I actually really liked Marvel
loved
superheroes
at the time
when it came out. So. So that's kind of cool. And also, this game has a lot more to it. This game's been given the Third Strike Online treatment with GGPO and that whole this whole thing on the left side, the XP system, or you're earning points to spend in the vault.
So none of this stuff was in Dark or in
JoJo's. No, JoJo's wasn't. So this was done by Iron Galaxy, who did Third Strike Online.
Okay.
Dave Lane cares.
I mean, not that I wouldn't understand that you wouldn't have multiple studios working on these ports, but it seems like
once the framework is done,
this is
why
definitely
wouldn't
the
you...
high standard. Like this is what people come to expect, even if we're talking about more niche fighting games like the JoJo franchise. Like at least,
I don't understand why JoJo's didn't get this treatment. If you're gonna go through all that trouble to bring it back, and you're gonna charge that much money on it, like shouldn't you?
Yeah, because this stuff is cool. Like this, even if you're looking at to play this game strictly from a historical perspective, it gives you a reason to explore the mechanics, even when you're not necessarily playing it to become competitive or skilled at it. You can at least have a better understanding of what this meant at the time.
So this game had these gems. You see down in the corner here. You have these gems, and I can activate them. So I've activated the power gem, which is Captain America's special gem. So he just starts doing triple dragon punches instead of singles when that's active. You can collect multiple gems. Like you kind of knock them out of guys, and they go back and forth. And the catch with that is that there's a button you can hit to select what your currently active gem is, or which gem you would activate. But it's the select button here, and it was the start button in arcades. That pauses here, which makes sense. But it's the select button here, and you can't remap it. So on this fighting stick, where those select and start buttons are kept well out of the way, it seems a little weird. I don't know if there's something
So this fighting game is only a 4-button?
It is 6.
Okay.
But I can't. So it doesn't have in the options.
Oh, but
here,
on that arcade stick you have 8. So you could.
Yeah. So I could
map
map it to one of the 8 face buttons up here.
Right.
But there's no option here to map the gem select button, which I thought was kind of strange.
I mean, that's the gem select is kind of the hook here. Like.
Yeah, the gems are the thing that makes this a different game, really. And not to say that they're the end all be all and the game is useless without them, but whatever. It's
what gives it its kind of unique touch, kind of like what they were trying to go for with Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Right.
It's like bringing back I guess I'd forgotten that they had tried a gem system in the past.
Yeah. So this is a little more.
Sure. I mean, you're not
a little more in
game
game than these sort of like passive things that activate in cross, but yeah. So I can do Fireball back with all 3 punches to activate the gem. And then I can hit this Black Heart dude with that stuff. Oh, jeez.
So is this still, I'm trying to get my fighting game engine technology straight. Is this still like CPS 2?
Yeah, this would be CPS 2.
Did they not move off of that until 3, or was 3
Yeah,
still
Street Fighter
CPS
3 was, Red Earth, or Warzard, I think was the first CPS 3 game. Oh, come on. Oh. But, I mean, Street Fighter 3 was definitely the marquee game for that technology. Final Justice, indeed. Thumbs up, soldier. So you see, as I'm playing, this stuff on the left side is kind of going wild. They've got all these different achievement-like systems in here with multiple levels. So the 2-star another notch is win 25 matches, and then that'll, then it'll just start showing the 3-star version of it instead.
So these are all changing dynamically, sort of based on what you're doing as the player?
Yeah, exactly. So, as I'm hitting with projectiles, it'll give me an update on the, where I'm at on the projectile achievements, and, as I'm knocking infinity gems away, it'll, pop that one up
That's
instead.
really smart. That's, especially given that... I understand not with all these games they can't go and make it from 4:3 to 16:9. But
Yeah.
it seems like a really good use of this otherwise blank area that can look kind of awkward.
Right. So I can actually. I mean, they do have.
Oh, okay.
But
that looks
it
gross.
Stretches. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not what you want. And like the arcade cabinet and tilted. Well, that's all right. So maybe that's awesome. All right,
wow.
I'm back on board. That's fucking nuts. How cool is that? Why would you ever use this?
This is so dumb, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
Wow. This looks like something that would be on the TriCaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one of those weird
settings of just. I feel like yes. Let's take a screenshot of this and then
add it to our TriCaster.
Yeah.
Good on them. Like for these sort of dumb retro modes where they try and I understand what people are going for when they're trying to add these filters or background changes to try and emulate what it used to be like. It's always only fun for about 10 seconds.
Right.
But this is goofy in a whole nother direction. Like, I don't like the term taking it to another level, but this is taking it to another level.
All right, I don't think I can actually manage.
Play with that.
I like that even the menus show up there. That's so cool. And then you can turn on various filtering to kind of filter the sprites. I am so against filtered sprites, and I'm so against fake scan lines.
Either redo the sprites or leave them as is.
So yeah, it's like you can make it look like total trash if you want. Like, look at this; it looks terrible. That doesn't look like, oh man, it's real. No, it's just.
I mean, this was one of those trends that started when Foundation 9 was doing basically all of the ports coming to XBLA, and they sort of, I guess, established a lot of these.
Well, a lot of these filters, I mean, did
these come from emulators?
MAME has a ton of filters built in. Like over the years, people that are making emulators on the PC have come up with a bunch of ridiculous filtering techniques and stuff. And whatever. I guess I
just never understood it.
Yeah, that's not why I'm here.
You're playing these games. You're playing them for a certain sense of purity.
That's again, like I want to see every filthy pixel or that. Oh man, that's really good.
Yeah. I wish something else was going on that other screen.
Yeah.
Oh, the only thing this is missing are FMV actors.
Right.
Like walking in to
or like a crowd noise or something. Just having some guy, well, no, not the right game, but having someone shouting about their Mango Sentinel in the background or something. Oh god damn it. Iron Man.
So this came out at what, 98?
Oh man,
I think that's what it said in the front end screen.
Yeah. Children of the Atom was released in '94, not in this collection.
That was the first
X-Men vs. Street Fighter '96. So yeah, maybe 98 makes sense here. That's
Children of the Atom. That was the first Marvel Capcom team up. Right?
I believe so. Yeah, they did Children of the Atom, and then that led to X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and then Marvel. This Marvel game was happening probably
Street Fighter
around.
is not good, right?
I didn't much care for it. I thought Children of the Atom was good. But yeah, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Whatever. That just there's a long history of me kind of not really liking the versus games too much.
Right.
So yeah, you see all these challenges and stuff. You're earning these vault points. You see, I have 85 vault points. We can go into the vault now and actually spend these points on, concept art and stuff like that. Various win pose movies. All that sort of stuff. But characters is probably the most interesting thing here. You can, just easy unlocks for Roll and all the other weird variants that are in MVC, and then also I didn't actually know that Anita was in Marvel versus or in Marvel Superheroes. Just wasn't paying attention to a lot of their secret characters and stuff. So when we go back to arcade mode here, you can actually I can hit the start button and bring up Anita, which just shows up as Thanos in the screen here.
So she was in the original game?
I guess so. Yeah, it was probably was in the original, and something that was, you know, you could access via
like a debug menu or something,
or just there were a lot of hidden characters that you could get through button combos and stuff. I assume Anita was accessible that way, but I actually don't know.
Well, I just find it interesting that they characterize her as a test character,
right?
Which makes me wonder if she was part of maybe some debug stuff.
Yeah, it could be. You see, like, as part of her moves, like, she'll just bring in other, you know, Akuma shows up and weird stuff like that. Pretty crazy.
That's pretty good.
And there's just no, like, there's no announcer VO for it, for her.
That's pretty good.
I guess it does more damage if they block it. It's sort of a weird.
Yeah, that seemed to really take her out.
Yeah, so it's, you know, interesting, weird stuff you can unlock there, and as far as characters goes. But let's see if we can find someone online. No, let's play some Marvel vs. Capcom. So from here we hit the back button, and then it loads into the other game.
That's nice. Elegant.
Training mode has the options you would kind of expect from a training mode. And, you know, kind of slick stuff. You can just hit the back button from this menu to bring up the controls. You know, if you have people that don't want to use the default controls, or you're swapping controllers out, stuff like that, you know, button checks kind of possible at that point.
So your vault points, they're cross game, right? Like that's
yeah. So the
game.
unlockable characters are are obviously game specific. And there's all sorts of weird stuff you can hold to get specific assist characters and stuff. And I actually haven't played MVC 1 in a long time.
Let's go. Ready. Fight.
Did both MVC and MVC 2 come out on Dreamcast, or was it just 2?
Huh.
I mean, I know 2 is the premier game.
Yeah. I don't think 1 came out on Dreamcast. 1 surely came out somewhere, though.
But then, did 1 come to Saturn? Was this one of those, like, 4 meg card games? Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking
it probably was.
So I remember also
I don't remember. I'm trying to think, like, what the...
I know X-Men vs. Street Fighter did.
X-Men vs. Street Fighter was one of the 4 meg ones.
It's like the 4 meg card I have at home is for some, like, anime game that, like, only came out in Japan.
Right. I actually just found my 4 meg card. I'm so psyched to have found it. Because it had been missing.
Such a weird thing.
And I can hit the, or I guess it's actually not the start button, so I can hit the select button to move after the battle ends, which is a real dick move that they put into both of these games and then a lot of the other versus games and stuff.
Ready. Fight.
And I assume this must have the same control or, view settings and stuff.
There you go. Great.
Yep.
So how does the GGPO stuff, I didn't realize that was something you could adjust. So how does that exactly play into it?
You're kind of, it sounds like you're sort of adjusting the delay or adjusting the kind of tolerance for it. And the more delay you kind of add deliberately to it, the fewer rollbacks and stuff you're going to see in the multiplayer. Because if you set it to 0, it's kind of like working to get the perfect connection, and if you don't have the perfect connection, other things might happen. Bad stuff might happen.
Is that something you ever end up touching, or do you just kind of leave it at default and deal with it as?
I just kind of leave it at default and deal with it. It wasn't necessarily like they had that option in Third Strike Online, but they didn't explain really what it was.
Like, yeah, I saw a slight thing in the menu up front that was, explaining. If you put it down to 0, you're going to see more teleporting.
Right. Yeah. So they only put Ryu in this game. There's no, like, the roster's kind of reduced a little bit. There's no Ken, so instead you have to actually burn meter to kind of turn into Ken. And I mean, he's still Ryu, but when he's kind of in Ken mode.
Yeah. And
there's Akuma mode, which I was in earlier.
Those are related to your super, or that's just something you can swap to?
That's something I can swap to when I have it burns meter to swap.
Okay.
But then it kind of changes the form of the character, which was
interesting.
An interesting way to handle it without just kind of bloating the roster with really similar characters.
Let's go.
Is that exclusive to Ryu, or is that something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else has stance like the equivalent of a stance change, I guess. Ah.
Nicely done.
All right. I feel like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 was, you know, just them on the verge of full insanity when it comes to this stuff. Like MVC2
it's really not that
is
ridiculous. Like
so...
it seems this is purely just like kind of a matchup game, and then you know the roster starts expanding.
Yeah.
The idea of balance starts creeping out the window. I mean, I don't know enough about this game.
The later stuff was balanced. It was nuts, and all the versus games are like that. I mean, Ryu throws a fireball that looks like that in these games,
Right.
And that was the kind of the first sign to me. I was like, I don't know, this is not.
Just another Akuma.
Yeah.
That is neat. I had no idea that existed. Dick.
So one of the in-game achievements is for hitting people after the fight is over.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So let's try and get online, see if we can find anybody. I actually haven't been finding a lot of people. But these assist characters, I mean, there's, you know, I've got Storm here, but there's some pretty weird assist characters kind of thrown in. And again, if I remember correctly, there are certain button motions you can do to kind of select your assist character instead of having it randomly select the way it normally does. So it seems like the vault works a little differently for MVC with these other kind of character forms and stuff. Because it just says code for roll. Yeah, okay. It just shows you how to select. So you can probably actually just select all these characters normally. If you know these codes, and maybe this just explains what the codes are. Oh, yeah. Code for roll, unlock roll. So you can actually just spend. Oh, I don't have enough though, and that probably adds them to this other menu the same way Anita was showing up. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so you can unlock the code for cheaper than you can unlock the full character, and then when you unlock the full character, then you probably don't have to enter the code anymore. It just shows up in a separate menu, which is nice. That's a little weird that they would offer it both ways, but hey.
More things to spend points on.
Yeah. So here we are. Matchmaking options. Smoother graphics, but more delay to your inputs. Ping threshold,
that's some granular shit.
Yeah, totally. It's nice to see ping numbers on a modern console. They don't...
I can't remember the last... I mean... It's certainly not going to display the... Do you think it's to display the ping of the other opponent?
I don't know.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I doubt it's ping 0. Oh, there we go, 94.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we are super low in our fast corporate internet, but... Yeah, man, I remember when Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, I wasn't searching by game type, I was searching by ping.
Yeah. War Machine. Jeez, I don't know. It's an online game, so I kind of want to pick characters I know I might have a chance with, but he's picked the exact team I would pick if I wanted to pick the team I might have a chance with. I'm not great with Strider, Hiryu.
Hold it.
All right.
Ready. Fight.
Whoa.
Whoop. Whoop. Oh, no.
That's bad.
Bomb.
I just never got good at the air combos in a lot of the versus games. I think that, you know, you really want to break it down to why I didn't like the versus games.
The air combos seem more.
They were things
right?
that I didn't necessarily want to get good at. You
right.
know, as the notion of knocking people up and then jumping up after them.
Which is sort of like, I mean, like on a fundamental of one of the big base
That is
mechanical
the
changes,
thing
right?
In a lot of these games.
I guess the idea of juggling. Nope. Oh.
Hey, I took him. All right.
So what is easy mode? Like, what is the difference between manual and easy mode?
I believe it changes some of the inputs, or it'll auto block.
Gotcha. So maybe that's why he was blocking all of your specials there.
Oh, what did he pick? Easy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice. So I get some vault points for winning, and I get 25 fist. That's a fist, right?
Yeah.
When you exit, it goes right back into searching for another player, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a pretty cool package for games that, you know, might not be today's premier fighting games, but it's still cool to see some of this stuff get a new release.
And also the package is
and
like
yeah,
complete.
exactly. Like there's this loving shell created around these two games with the online you would want and this, you know, kind of pretty good single player mode because of all this vault stuff. Yeah, it's a good package. But you have to be, you know, whatever. I don't think
it's not going to get anybody new.
Fighting games, totally.
But if you liked these games in the past, you know,
yeah,
it's nice to see
cool,
them treated
it's cool
really
to revisit
well.
them. MVC 1, I think, is super interesting because of where that series has gone and how popular it became once MVC 2 came out. You know, it's pretty different from those games.
Right.
So I think that's cool. But yeah, it's available now. Totally check it out if you're looking for more kind of good old fighting games, because these are both good old fighting games. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Dave Lang.
Wait, what?